It was 11 o'clock at night and there's a knock at the door. I'm still living at home, I'm 14 years old and I'm living with mum and dad. Somehow my mum gets to the door first and she opens it to reveal a huge man taking up the entire door frame. He's got a crazy story to tell. He's just arrived in England from Germany into Gatwick Airport. And as he's passing through customs, he realises he has something to declare. His undying love for the girl that he's been spending the entire journey speaking to. The only problem is this is the dark ages, before Snapchat and Instagram and Twitter. He hasn't even got her phone number. So there he is, in Brighton, going door to door. He's intent on visiting 120,000 homes until he finds her. My mum hears this story and decides to welcome him in. Makes him a hot mug of cocoa and then says, well, why don't you have a bed for the night? This is bad news for me because my bedroom door is opposite the lounge where this strange man is going to be sleeping. So I take every single bit of furniture that I can move and I build a barricade to keep this guy out of my room. And I'm under the covers and I've got my little Swiss Army penknife for protection. Somehow I survive the night. I wake up the next morning, I'm still alive, I haven't been murdered in my sleep. As I unbarricade the door, I realise all our worldly possessions are still there and so is this huge German man. My mum makes him a hearty breakfast and then sends him on his way, on his quest to find the girl of his dreams. I think about that story every time I go to one of my kids' nativity plays. You know how the story goes. It's the middle of the night and they're going door to door, trying to find somewhere for the bedraggled Mary and the sweaty Joseph and sometimes a pantomime donkey to find rest for the night. But they hear it over and over again, there's no room. There's no room at the inn. I like to believe if I was there in Jesus' day, I'd have made sure there was space, not just in my outhouse or the shed or the stable, but room in my home for the Son of God to be born, to be the Saviour of the world. Or maybe when Jesus is a refugee running from Herod and trying to escape into Egypt, I'd have made space in my life for him. Or when he's hungry or thirsty or needing shelter later in his life, I'd have made sure he'd have been okay. I'd have made room. But my track record tells a different story. I'm better at building barricades than I am at welcoming the wanderer. And yet Jesus said, whatever you do for the least of these, you do for me. In other words, the test of whether we've understood the Christmas story is whether we'll make room in our lives for the vulnerable. Will we welcome them in and give them the help that they need? Because when we do, we welcome Jesus. Our family never heard from that German man again, but I like to believe there's a German-English couple living happily ever after thanks to the love of a little Indian woman who offered hospitality to a stranger when he needed it most.